Right, look, look, Sapra, finally. The story took way longer than I expected, but we're finally in the final chapter and we are going to learn his point of view and all the puzzle pieces are going to fall together. Now let's see what dear Luke is going to bring us, shall we? Let's go to profiles. If our mouse wants to work at least, we already had these. So now, hi Luke! The man with a lot of nicknames and also given a lot of them. Lucille Mitchell Luke Wright. He was born on August 2. He's a Leo. He's 31 years old. His height is 5'8" or 163 centimeters. His occupation, President and CEO. Nationality British. Religion atheist, but raised Anglican. Education high school dropout, privately tutored. He likes bed putting, dogs, wine and absinthe, as we know, piano playing, daffodils, money, women and power. And he's apparently a prostitute's son. He spent his childhood roaming the streets begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid harm. Home meant a do-drunk mother and her equally drunk clients, some of who would take to beating the child out of anger if he so much as looked at them wrong. That meant he was always in trouble, in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of his son. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heir, sought him out. He was trained to inherit Wright Enterprise, but along the way got mixed up with illegal activities. That put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hannah. Wow, he also had a very happy childhood. Being a prostitute's son and then with all the drinking explains why he drinks so much too. And why he is who he is today, especially with his father not having any love, his mother coming to the conclusion way too late. I feel for him. I feel for all of them actually. But damn. Alright Luke, let's see, how does your story begin? To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and cold tight before thrashing, shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open and her eyes roll to the back of her head. It has the hallmark sign of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. But to hold her close is all I can do while she thrashes about. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down. Yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here. And it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped. But that doesn't make the dread go away.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist a knife in. It doesn't help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is...
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
I must have sat there in the kitchen, cradling Hannah in my arms for an eternity, until Shroken and the maid ran in, assuming the worst. She had been screaming, enough to attract the attention of anyone on the mansion's property. But that's all well and good in the end, I suppose, as they helped carry Hannah up to our bedroom. I doubt I could have managed on my own. I might have slipped on the stairs and cracked both our heads if I tried. Both Shroken and the maid does short work of making her comfortable while I sit on the sidelines. I have no idea how long I remained there, just watching them and her. But at some point after Dave left us, the sun had set, leaving the room dark and silent. Nestled in all the pillows and blankets and put on her sideshow, Helen looked smaller than ever. She looked so weak and vulnerable that I can't help but worry. Not to mention the children. Think about the children. I don't know how such an event could affect babies in the womb. Now seems like a good time to get drunk as any. But I just can't. I can't bring myself to leave her side just to intoxicate myself. Not with what just happened. I might just drink myself to death if I so much as tried.
Please, stay with me, darling.
Of course. Anything for you, sunshine.
Ah, sunshine. That's also in a ring, isn't it? In a wedding ring. There's no way I can leave her side without feeling guilty. Besides, what sort of husband and father would I be if I don't take care of her when she's sick? Not that I'm too confident about what I can do on my own. I'm not trained for this sort of thing. Even if I've experienced similar scenarios before, I might still have it all wrong. I've already called our personal physician along with the obstetrician who knew of her pregnancy for a house call in the morning. Well, we'll have to go on from there. I don't like to think about it, but I can still remember the doctor's instructions and how to take care of my mother while she was ill. Provide a safe space for her to rest. Check. Let her lie on her side so that she doesn't choke. Check. Loosen tight clothing to let her breathe. Check. Keep calm and don't panic. Well, I'm having a bit of a trouble with that one, aren't I?
Do you want any water? Something to nibble on, perhaps? I can call for something to be brought up. Soup would be good, right?
I'm fine, Luke. Don't you worry. I'm just a little sick, but I'll get better.
A pained look crosses her face and, more than anything, I wish I can take away the pain she feels now. When she beckons me to come closer, to hold her in my arms, who am I to say no? Aww. Her body still quivers. Tiny shakes that make my heart feels like it's going to stop and give every time they have too much. I take care to give her room to breathe, no matter how much of an uncomfortable position it puts me in. Her scent is enough to bring me at ease. Golden flowers, marigolds, buttercups, and daffodils. I'm not sure if she smells this way because I surround us with them and I can, or because she is wearing the perfume I gave her last Christmas.
There we go. Now, are we comfy?
She nods her head weakly, a smile barely making its way on her lips. I'd be ready to fulfill any request she has. Anything to make this easier for her. Anything to make her happy. But when she next speaks, I can feel my breath catch my throat.
Sing me a lullaby.
A lullaby? Of course, I can do that.
I know I've done so many things in my lifetime that would have justified a horrible end. But not Hannah. She doesn't deserve this. It is all for far too horrible familiar. To find myself in bed, clutching reverently to an ill-beloved, wishing it isn't real and hoping it doesn't get any worse. To find myself screaming at a God I've long abandoned and forgotten. Not her, not again. Take her and you will bloody rue. To have lullabies shared so that we can forget the pain and the fear.
Hush, my darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna catch you a mockingbird.
I used to sing this song for my children when they were younger. I can hear her breathy laughter. She doesn't tell me to stop. If this amuses her, then that's fine. But her breathing soon evens itself out. A good thing, too, and before I know it, she's fallen asleep. If only it would be as easy for me. I certainly don't envy her, but I don't particularly like how my mind runs right now. Battered and frayed, clutching at straws and asking myself if I'll really let myself fall apart in this moment. It's alarming how just the thought of losing her could break me, pregnant or not.
And if that mockingbird don't sing, I'm gonna get you a diamond ring.
I already lost my mother, the only other woman I've truly loved in my life, and without knowing then as a young man, that wounded a great part of me. I am aware now how scared I am, for lack of a better term. And if anything ever happens to Hannah, well, I don't know what I'd do after the fact. Would the loss drive me insane? Would I become mad and swear bloody vengeance on a world that deserves less than her? Will I end up drowning in sorrow and guilt until I end up drinking one night and figuring a bullet is a good way to go? Or perish thought. Will I become like my father? One who had no further love for anything, not others or even objects or self. The vainglorious muggle that worked and worked for the sake of succeeding in the search of happiness that would never come.
And if that diamond ring turns brass, we're gonna go to fields of grass.
Bit different the version I know. For a long while I was that man, wasn't I? Pursuing gold and glory and nothing else. Bloody hell! I even started courting Hannah for the money her family had. She was a mark to be attended. But she was just so bright. And I don't mean intelligent, though she's certainly that too. No, she was bright in a manner that she could bring such a sunshine to anyone's dreary life. I don't know what need to put on a mask with her, just like with all the others. But if anything else, she made it feel so constricting, suffocating, and I put off the mask on my own. I had wanted to be myself around her, because she was willfully showing her real self to those around her. It wasn't some sudden realization. There was no Eureka moment. It just happened.
And in those fields where we roam, we'll take daffodils for our home.
We would meet up and talk about business. But then, those could only last for so long after a few dozen dates. We ended up talking about other things. Little things that didn't seem to matter so much. Inconsequential things that one would end up forgetting in the grand scheme of things. Good food, good music, dogs, the film we just saw, books we've read while we were apart, and places we wanted to go to. Things that weren't important suddenly are. It confused me so much, but I was happy. And at some point, I told myself that this was a woman I wanted to spend my life with. Then, I would forget that. A lot. It was out of some misguided need to be my own person, to not be defined by anyone else. I refused to put her on a pedestal, or to make her the center of my universe. Married or not, we were our own person at the end of the day. But I wouldn't forget to, at the very least, remember she was there with me.
And if those daffodils die and wilt, we'll still have the home that we built.
She made me better, but I was, still me to an extent. Still the son of a bitch that has something to prove. I forget it again and again, no matter how hard I try. I'll spend extra hours at the office for something or another, to have favorable stocks, to take care of the debts, something really. Sometimes I'll even bring work home if I haven't gone to drink and destroy my liver. I'll flaunt the riches, some of which aren't even rightfully mine in the first place, and lord myself over everyone else because I fucking deserve it. Because that is how I prove myself. And I don't even have to prove myself to Hannah. Sometimes I wonder, had we met under different circumstances? Had I grown up a different way? Would all of this be any better? Would we be any happier?
Good night, my sunshine.
He's sweet. Now there's a thought.
Mommy, what happened? You were wiggling and shaking, and you wouldn't stop even if I was shouting. I'm so sorry I shouted at you, Mommy.
Shh, don't cry. My little ball of sunshine's not supposed to cry, is he? Don't you worry. Mummy is just a little sick, but she'll get better. I've got a new job now, and I can get medicine again, okay? And we'll buy some bread pudding, too, while we're at it.
Please don't do that again, Mommy. It's scary.
It's okay. I'm here. You've got nothing to fear. But you have to be brave, too, Lucille. Even when I'm not around. Be brave.
I choke back and scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In a dark and cold room, one can fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as a penthouse, and the renovation did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It'll take a bit more time to adjust. I don't like the music. It's hard to feel cozy though when I'm bloody freezing. Notching the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hannah.
She always did this though. It hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use in the mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hannah excused on her own is just enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. But that doesn't bode well, does it? I must be considerate, after all the poor dear is ill. So I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You'll need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in a loo, so if you can give me a moment.
No! No, don't put the blanket off. Oh my god, there's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. Oh my god, he has a knife. With care, I go for a knife, hidden on the side of my bed. Why would you have a knife hidden? Although if you're past, it is understandable. It will be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unharmed after all. To pull back the covers will be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, that could easily be mistaken as a fall of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hannah and myself out of here, not look back and let security handle it. That's what they are here for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's a way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hannah in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I have no reason to be afraid. You have a reason, dude. There's no boogeyman under the bed. No, she's in your bed. No monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me. Right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside. Oh my god! Nothing. Alright, nothing. Not even a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Oh shit. Must be my imagination. I'd better not think I'm going mad. It could very well be the stress getting to me. All this drama with Hannah. I've been doing well of these years. All things considered, I guess I do have a breaking point. But still, the world goes on even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day off or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest aside from a few hours of sleep will be welcome. More than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay back down and close my eyes.